Maybe on that side.
Hello, and welcome to the Brooklyn Rail's 266 New Social Environment. I'm Elizabeth, the social media manager here at the Rail, and I have the pleasure and privilege of being your MC today for our 30th Radical Poetry reading featuring the legendary poets Mei-mei Berssenbrugge and Bhanu Kapil. We start all of our events with two important acknowledgements. The first is that here in Brooklyn, we are located in Lenape-Hoking, the unceded land and waters still belonging to the Wappinger, Canarsie, Munsee, and Lenni Lenape peoples of the Delaware Nation and the Shinnecock Indian Nation. The second acknowledgement is that Black Lives Matter. We recognize the legacy of settler colonialism as a part of the many contemporary expressions of white supremacy. We honor those that have lost their lives to this violence, and we encourage all of you to check out the chat for a living document of resources and actions as we do our part in learning and unlearning required to undo this legacy of injustice. And now to introduce today's poets. Mei-mei Berssenbrugge was born in Beijing and grew up in Massachusetts. She is the author of 15 books of poetry, most recently a treatise on stars, which was a finalist for the National Book Award, the Penn Open Book Award, the Kingsley Tufte Award, and received the 2021 Bollinger Prize. Poet Bhanu Kapil won the T.S. Eliot Prize this year for her most recent book, How to Wash a Heart, out from Liverpool University Press. After 20 years at Naropa University, where she taught across genres and disciplines, Bhanu is now part of Churchill College, Cambridge, where she has recently been appointed an extraordinary fellow. We're so thrilled to have both poets here today. And now I will turn it over to the brilliant Mei-mei to carry on the rest of our show.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to try to get the screen. View. Speaker. I'd like to get the screen so that I can, this speaker can fill the screen. Well, okay, I'm going to try once more. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. Okay. No.
Mei-mei, if you go to view on the top right corner of your screen, it'll show speaker gallery in full screen, and if you press speaker, it should show speaker.
Yeah, I've done that, but it didn't work. I'm just going to do it this way. Well, hello. And I'm very, very honored to be here. I want to say how important I think the Brooklyn Rail series of events has been during this year, rich and generous. And I thank you all for this invitation. I think I'm very, very excited to read with Bhanu. I thought since we're not going to have question and answer, Bhanu asked if I would speak a little bit about a treatise on stars, which this is the cover is an installation that Richard made in Beijing. It's a big room, and it took the same title as the book. It was my, I always say it was my, I had inspiration or intention to make a unified environment between, or ecology between Earth and the heavens or in the stars. And from that sentence, I got a drive forward to write this book, which was about, in a way, like reaching to the stars. It was about extension, but it was also an interweave because the stars also come reach. And it became very involved with trying to interleave the ecology, Earth's ecology into a wider ecology. So at this point, I'm going to read, according to the time, I'll read three poems. The first one is called Jaguar, and it's in 4 parts. I was thinking a lot about an underlying unity and in all things, and then I use consciousness as an obvious image for that. And then forests became a symbol for consciousness. I think that's, at any rate, I live here in New Mexico, and I've lived here for 40 or 50 years, and we're not so far from a village called Abiquiu. People around Abiquiu claim descent from the Pleiadians and their beloved animals. We've always known relatives from other places: Andromedans, Orionites, Zeta Reticulans, Sirians. Cosmic relations are expressed by our plaza. Also in new homes, we align with winter and summer light. All around are invisible realities where contact may occur. Some hear coyotes speaking in computer beeps. Some entertain guests unaware. Owls, for example, have one song beyond the range of our hearing, interleaved with multidimensional information. The 4D projection of this song generates a star. I invite you to stand close tonight, looking up, while our heart frequencies entrain. And we experience heart cognition, a kind of analytic thought oriented around images with feeling. Associating memories attract light. Your memory becomes an informational flow accessed through pathways or stories others share with others that seem simple in daylight, though you may be traveling backward in time or forward by resonance into space. That may be the only way to communicate with some others. Where are you going? Where are you coming from? I'm going to the stone circle at the end of my land. I'm going to collect seeds from primroses on the road, to look at some land to buy, to visit my friend, visit my mother. Crossing and recrossing arroyos and mesas create a dense web between beings and home. In the same way, the neural grid of an ecosystem continually adjusts to maintain, as light between the hearts of mother and daughter, or light back and forth from stars maintains homeodynamics in space. Our desire for light, for consciousness, is pulled from the transcendent domain of potentia by the needs of environment herself. When you were a baby, my friend painted the star beings who visited her as angels, kachinas, very beautiful snakes. She taught us to hold our connection with each other in a new geography that weaves stars with the ground. Milky Way courses overhead. Dark patches show against its foam like divinations. Earth is a node of intersections in our galaxy and beyond, receiving millions of tons of interterrestrial material a year as cosmic dust, meteorites, asteroids breaking up to scatter their bacteria and splash ours back out. All forms are in potential genetic exchange. Viruses transpose DNA between mosquitoes and humans, for example, or between plants and microorganisms from space. We symbiotically merge into more complex new species in order to stabilize Earth's self-organizing whole. I describe consciousness as Mother Earth and the intelligence that shapes it. It's like an image of the moon on two different television sets. The real moon exists in different space than our living room. When we go outside at night, I'm nervous. I'm afraid for the animals. I mix consciousness with time, confuse time with what could happen. I struggle for understanding beyond environmental fears and grief. Consciousness is like the live feed of a jaguar on two different video screens. The real jaguar is filmed in a rainforest, preparing her energies. Before I knew what to look for at night, I no longer know. My fear offers new possibility, the way awareness can create. Two birds perch in a constellation tree with the same name. One eats star fruit, the other looks on. They're together, which we recognize, like the sun and moon. One shines out, one waits for light. Observing and observed universe are complementary aspects of their love. Okay, I'm gonna try that once again. Speaker. No, speaker. Okay. I have checked on speaker. What if I exit full screen?
Mei-mei, is it possible that on the top left corner, the green button that expands into full screen is what you're looking for?
No.
Okay.
Maybe I just don't have any speaker because I just see one person. Okay. We've had many years of drought here in New Mexico, and we started to go to Maine for the summer. I really to be where there was green, and this poem is called Singing. It's in 4 parts. All day I feel the approach of dolphins. Their thoughts are in my mind. When I swim, my cells attune to them, because ocean's full of vibrations that transmit to water in my body. It's a repository of primordial data from space. All creatures in water can access the Akasha. Tones entering my cells transform into feeling, an awareness of 2 worlds at once. I send back my thought, picture, feeling, and together we form new vibrations of knowledge that had been dormant in me. They're here. I swim out of the cove toward them. So happy I hum, and their answering chorus reverberates across water. We know each other. One dolphin is still far below me, Her form takes shape as she rises silently in bright blue, motionless, sunlit. Thank you for showing yourself, fulfilling a deep longing within my deep memory. I empty my mind and listen for her reply, which comes as waves of emotion. A cloud surrounds me. I expand into its stillness and receive tones conveying information very fast. They teach me to hum, to whistle, and sing. Sound amplifies my body across open water. Even their joyous play has this sensation of creating space. And when they sleep, stars augment their frequencies. We converse by mind cell helixes of image and feeling. Cosmic legacy, cosmic extension imprint holographically on my heart neurons as dolphin empathy. There are sounds which can stop time, alter surroundings, or shift your dimension. Swimming, I lose my sense of place, even physicality, and connect with collective love. They teach me to join my aura with the cosmos by spiraling with me in sound star tetrahedrons, and to love those with whom we merge. Then being is healing through innocence when the animal becomes the teacher. One dolphin swims toward me. I open telepathically and respond. I practice this method of reflection to contact life forms in other space who are trying however they can to meet us. Sirius radiates high frequencies to lighten the dark, denser planets. Dolphins travel to and from such a planet through diagrams like songs on ocean floors. They wish us to participate in overlighting the collectivity of souls in our galaxy and ally with them to access the space sister brotherhood. Through these planetary vortices, dolphins catalyze starlight to refresh water on Earth. Transference between species is both cellular and holographic or geometric. For example, my friend's body is 3D in front and 4D in the back. She exists across dimensions while appearing so ordinary in her yellow shirt and blue slacks as we walk to the shore. Memory is vibratory like DNA, condensed light, she volunteers. You and I relate through our mutual past on Sirius, in Glastonbury, Santa Fe. So I repeat their joyous staccato syllables. I listen to podcasts of no singers and tune to high pitches the Pleiades used for propulsion into our atmosphere, using the star codes of dolphins. Weave attributes to realities we're not aware of. Dolphins reside in these dimensions like dreams in oceans. They swim within magnetic streams of other entities, angels we've invented, others heavens, cyclic destiny. I glimpse one jump from its energy band, attracted by my friend's intense aura. He shows me Earth's sister planet, replicated by sound, as we co-created by singing, sitting in her yard, gazing at the ocean under pine trees. There are messages in clouds, in wavelets on granite, cicada and meadowlark calls. Space travelers materialize morphogenetically from local beauty and merge with us. They enable travel between time and stars by projecting tones just ahead of the consciousness of the person migrating. The way dolphins pass me so fast, I don't see the bubbles until they're far out of sight. A Wonder is in five parts. And the setting is here on this mesa in New Mexico, where we live. One summer night, walking from our house after dinner, stars make the sky almost white. My awe is like blindness. Wonder exchanges for sight. Star by star comprises a multiplicity like thought, but quiet, too dense for any dark planet between. While single stars are a feature of the horizon at dusk, caught at the edge of the net of gems. Transparence hanging on its outer connectedness casts occurrence as accretion filling in of extravagant, euphoric blooming. Then being as spirit and in matter is known, here to there. I go home and tell my children to come out and look. The souls of my two children fly up like little birds into branches of the Milky Way, chatting with each other, naming constellations, comparing crystals and fire. They exclaim at similarities between what they see in the sky and on our land. So by wonder, they strengthen correspondence between sky and home. Earth is made from this alchemy of all children, human and animal, combined with our deep gratitude. I see his dark shape moving and shifting against night's screen of stars. My little girl reaches for his lighted silhouette. Human beings are thought upward and flown through by bright birds. We believe stars are spirits of very high frequency. We feel proud our animals come from stars so dense in meaning, close to sacrament. We describe passing time in stories about animals. Star movement is named for seasonal migrations of deer, wolf, hummingbird, dolphin. And as animals, stars still walk among us. Our snake, Olivia, for example, tells me there's no conflict between humans and rain because resource is all around us. A coyote loved night and he loved to gaze at the stars. I noticed one star in Cassiopeia. I talked to her and each night she grew brighter and closer until she came to life here as a corn snake, my friend. She looks like a dancer on tiptoe, stepping around pink star blossoms, surging up after rain. Constellations are experienced emotionally as this play of self through plant and animal symbols and values. A dream atmosphere flows. Everything represented is sacred. Being moves in accord, not of time. Returning from the Milky Way, she realized crystals had fallen from her bag and looked up. My story links a journey to sky with the creation of stars, in which place accommodates becoming. Chama River flows north-south to the horizon, then straight up through the Milky Way, like water moving beneath a riverbed that's dry. Abiquiu Mountain, El Rito Creek, coyote, snake, rainbow, and rain, spider and hummingbird identify equivalent spiritual placements above. So wherever we go, there is company, nurture, from every star in our regard. I start up to ask my birds to return home and find our land continuous with the starry sky mapped as entities who set into motion occurrence here. Place awaits an imprint from this potential, even though starlight arriving now already happened. What happens is a depth of field before and after drought, fire, storm, disruption. I move at high speed, but I'm still standing beside my house in the dark. To go there, I find the place on our mesa that correlates to their tree in the sky and leap up. Space stirs as star trilliums emerge through darkness like humus. I ask one blossom to please in the future renew these bonds between sky and my children, so they will always hold light in the minerals of their eyes. Sun on its nightly underground journey weaves a black thread between white days on the cosmic loom, like a chord or resonance between new experience and meaning. The origin of stars expresses the underlying warp of this fabric. Summer solstice draws a diagonal across my floor. Precession, weaving ground of informing spirit. So therefore, life is fundamental to stars. The reverse is well known. That's why I don't use a telescope, star charts, or glasses when I go out. I think of a place, I wait, then fly to my children. When the stargate is raised, there's a narrow door between sky and ground. But when I arrive, I find the sky solid. I can't break through to visit my starbirds and stand there wondering before dawn. Then sky vault lifts. Maybe I can slip through to find the Milky Way and see its blossoms. Then our sun appears in the crack and pushes through to the day. It's so bright, so hot. I step back and cover my eyes. I hear my mother calling. I want to say this book was published by New Directions, with my gratitude. So I was thinking about what to say about Bhanu Kapil. I met her through her work. We were both published by the great press, Kelsey Street, which was a collective that still going now, 50 years. I'd like to just read the titles of her books. The Vertical Integration of Strangers, Incubation, A Space for Monsters, Humanimal, A Project for Future Children, Schizophrene, Ban en Banlieue, and this amazing drama, How to Wash a Heart. Now, where are you, Bhanu? There you are.
Hi, Mei-mei. Thank you so much. It's so moving to hear you read these poems, and such an honor to have lived a cyclic destiny that brought me to your garden. Your book has carried me and so many other people through this year. And every morning I wake up and choose a line and write to it. So if I may, I'll do that now, just as a way to move out of the overwhelming experience of listening to you, and just my gratitude to share this space with you tonight, this evening, this morning. A line from this bitter silver gleaming countryside or courtyard to your quartz. My story links a journey to sky with the creation of stars in which place accommodates becoming. Indeed. I live next door. I don't know if I told you, Mei-mei, right next to, across the hedge, an observatory, the Institute of Astronomy, or Kavli Institute, where Stephen Hawking did his, the special things of Stephen Hawking. So particularly meaningful to sit on the steps of the observatory and never to go in, and instead read your poems. I also wanted to connect to the phrase in your book, heart cognition. And so early this morning, I created a sculpture of a heart, and it's mostly already broken or melted, but I wanted to show you. And so I'll simply read a few poems from How to Wash a Heart. But first, I will activate heart cognition. How to wash a heart. Like this. It's inky early outside and I'm wearing my knitted scarf like John Betjeman, poet of the British past. I like to go outside straight away and stand in the brisk air. Yesterday, you vanished into those snowflakes like the ragged beast you are. Perhaps I can write here again. A fleeting sense of possibility, K. Keywords, hospitality, stars, jasmine, privacy. You made a space for me in your home, for my books and clothes, and I'll never forget that. When your adopted daughter, an Asian refugee, as you described her, came in with her coffee and perched on the end of my cot, I felt so happy and less like a hoax. Showed her how to drink water from the bowls on the windowsill. I don't want to beautify our collective trauma. Your sexual brilliance resided, I sometimes thought, in your ability to say, no matter the external circumstances, I am here. From this place, you gave only this many desiccated fucks about the future. Day by day, you discovered what happiness is. As your guest, I trained myself to beautify our collective trauma. When night fell at last, I turned with a sigh towards the darkness. I am about to squeeze out an egg, you murmured as you kissed me goodnight. Hold a funeral for the imagination, I thought. To my left is a turquoise door, and to my right, a butcher's table. Above you is a heart beating in the snow. When I described the set of my play, an environment more vivid to me than the memory of my childhood home, your face turned green. What made you know something was over? The milk in your eyes scared me. In that moment, I understood that you were a wolf capable of devouring my internal organs if I exposed them to view. Sure enough, the image of a heart carved from the body appeared in the next poem you wrote. There's a bright call of fire and cream as I write these words, stretching out these early spring or late winter mornings with coffee and TV. I don't remember the underneath, everything I will miss when I die. It's exhausting to be a guest in somebody else's house forever, even though the host invites the guest to say whatever it is they want to say. The guest knows that host logic is variable. Prick me and I will cut off the energy to your life. How to wash a heart. Remove it. Animal or ice. The curator's question reveals their power style. If power implies relationship, then here we are at the part where even if something goes wrong, that's exactly how it's meant to be. Your job is to understand what the feedback is. It's such a pleasure to spend time outside the house. There's nowhere to go with this except begin to plunge my forearms into the red ice that is already melting in the box. My spiritual power was quickly depleted by living with you. Like an intrusive mother, you cared for my needs, but also I never knew when you might open my door leaving it open when you left. My identity as a writer was precarious during the time I lived with you. Once you locked me in, an accident, my spine against a tree when I dreamed that night. Contact nature on all fours, said the counselor, slipping off her chair onto the floor. Help me to repair what is broken and immortal. Is that the bin? I come from a country all lime green on the soggy map. Destroy me, my soul whispered. Eat me, bones and all. Crush me in a vise. Stop me from walking out that door. The balloon deity I made from the condom on the floor was purgative, revolting, brilliant. Her lips were pursed. It doesn't matter that you made so many mistakes, she said. Violence rots the brain. Go. I do not enjoy eating too much. It's so painful. The only remedy is the bitter herb that grows by a rushing brook. Oils, sugars, pearls, crushed diamonds, linens, and songs populate your crappy cabinets. Make a list of what you need, and I will get it, you ungrateful cow. This is what I need. The light and the heat and the yesterday of my work. A candle on the wonky table at dusk. How time migrates. The chalky blue flowers. I need something that burns as slowly as that. Because living with someone who is in pain requires you to move in a different way. You bang the cup down by my sleepy head. Don't forget me, I whisper to my father. Give me something to eat. I'm so hungry, I call out to my mother. The conditional care of even these imaginary parents excretes a hormonal load. Am I safe with you? Or like a baby crawling on the bumpy carpet, am I my own mother, actually? Imagine a baby developing so rapidly that by nightfall it has ripped through the pale blue smock to evolve beyond the limits of the human. I remember how my mother woke me up so early to look at the bloody stars. My grandfather fermented the yogurt with rose petals and sugar, then buried it in the roots of the mango tree. Come here, he said, extending the sweetest fruit I have ever tasted come June. On the far side of the orchard, he grew saffron, and the mangoes there were red and pink in the dry well. He planted a pomegranate tree. This is where they threw the bodies. Come August noon, can you find your way home by smell? Metallic, the air tilts along a diagonal line. I smell the pollen of the flowers of the mango tree, which once concealed a kill. For lunch, my mother made okra with caramelized onions, a feat. The wet cap she stuck to my forehead, cheeks, and nose. Grimacing as the gates of the school swung open, I was a joke. The children who were children like me fled. I was alone with the slime dripping down the neck of my red and white dress, nettle bites lucid on my shins, because I ran through the alleyways and not the streets to get here. A hot yard. Shame invites the sun to live in the anus, the creases of the throat. The priest brought my mother home. My father fell over in the snow after drinking his guts out. The world was falling down around my ears. When our neighbors said go, we fled, our hearts beating like a fish. Hello, sang Lionel Richie on the taxi's orange radio. My grandfather burned his notebook, then scraped the ash into a hole he could button up. Don't ask me to remember the word for zip. My secret is this. Though we lost all our possessions, I felt a strange relief to see my home explode in the rearview mirror. Monoracial, we fetched up in a place without discrete racial categories. Our hair no longer felt like our hair, no matter how long we combed it with milk. The messages we received were as follows. You are a sexual object. I have a right to sexualize you. You are not an individual. You are here for my entertainment. You complain too much. Your sexual identity is not important. The way you talk about what happened to you is a catastrophic representation. Merry Christmas, little pig. A scream was heard, a scream. Psychosis creams the air, giving it a peculiar richness and depth. I dissolve a lozenge beneath my tongue for courage, but now Will Ransom and Cora Seaborn have fallen in love and I feel so much better. Peel an orange from the market, remove it from a paper bag, the city like a thin piece of muslin stretched over the drain pipe, steeples and bees, a gray ribbon tied around the wrist. You could see it growing taut. Please. Here in the Black and Silver Cafe now, and it's wonderful. I love the alien foliage in the bathroom. Dee is reading Madame Bovary in a translation by Lydia Davis. My first friend in this country is gorgeous, lanky and blonde. How long have I been gone? I rarely think of the bright brown eyes of my childhood friends, the unreachable memories of foraging for red and white toadstools in the forest. Though the outer conditions are xenophobic, I only want to bask in this exotic friendship. I was born feet first beneath a Lebanon cedar at 10:23 a.m. on a November morning so long ago that many people who were alive that day, flinching from a sudden rain, no longer walk upon this earth. I'm going to take you by surprise. I'm going to make you so proud of me. When you watch my plays, your heart will make a circuit with the dense shadow in the upper part of the atmosphere. The clouds will rain green frogs the size of fingernails, and we will scoop them up with our hands. Sometimes I lie on the earth face down to connect with its copper plate. You won't have to love me for very long.
Wow. I have tears in my eyes, Bhanu. Is that it?
Thank you so much, Bhanu, for that wonderful reading and performance. And thank you, Mei-mei. I just want to echo everyone in the chat who is just feeling so blessed that we were able to be in this virtual space with you both on this Wednesday afternoon, and to just, hear your beautiful words is such a bright spot in all of our weeks. We always say at the Rail that our poets bring us weekly nourishment. So thank you for providing us with that nourishment today. We're all very grateful to have experienced that with you, and really appreciate you taking the time to read for us. It was really wonderful. Thank you so much. Here at the Rail, we are celebrating our 20th anniversary with a whole year-long celebration. We are a nonprofit which is dedicated to providing free and accessible criticism and community events like our Wednesday Radical Poetry readings and our New Social Environment events. If you enjoyed today's events, please consider making a donation to keeping the Rail and our special projects free, relevant, and independent. Please join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. for our Common Ground conversation between author Hala Alal and organizer Olivia Issa. It'll be a conversation about the novel, The Arsonist City. Now everyone can turn on their microphones and express their gratitude to both Mei-mei and Bhanu for joining us today, and to say goodbye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mei-mei. Thank you, Bhanu. Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Mei-mei.
much.
Thank you, Bhuna. So good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Bhanu. Thank you for the performance. Wonderful. Yes. It was great. So profound.
Is that my brother? Is that Rob? Yes. That's my brother.
Oh, hi.
Hi,
brother. Where are you tuning in from? Where are you tuning in from, Robert?
Where's Robert?
I'm in Vancouver, in the unceded lands of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations in so-called Canada. And it is a beautiful thing to be here with my sister today. I've missed her very much.
I miss her too already.
Mei-mei, it was so beautiful to hear your.
It was really, really a good. I loved your reading, and I think we said something. And there's the publisher, the Kelsey Street publisher. Read.
Hi, Irina.
Hi, Bhanu.
Hi.
Beautiful. Thank you for having the belief to publish it, because Mei-mei and Bhanu just reading it, just two old souls that know each other from past lives.
Yes.
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 But I'll tell you a story. And the story is when I met Mei-mei like 18 years ago, people would elbow their way to sit around the restaurant table. And I thought, I so admire this poet. I'm just going to leave her alone. And plus there was a barrier of, other people to get through. Anyway, some years passed and I got an email from Mei-mei inquiring whether or not I liked her, because I had just not been able to overcome my shyness to get through the people.
I was
No
always
courage.
trying to get to know her, but she was always disappearing.
Shy. Yes. So fast forward a million years and finally have the courage to show up when invited by Mei-mei to the cafe of Starlight and Dolphin Empathy. So top level. Ah, is that Farid down there? Hello, Farid. Hi. Lovely. Hi, Jenna.
It's the cutest ever.
What is Mother Mei-mei? It's your reading, your poems, your reading remind me so much of how we should eat our poems. it's like eating poetry. You have to come forward with the images of yourself. So that's what I felt. I don't even feel like I need to eat lunch anymore. Right, Robert? Am I right about this? Thank you so much.